Welcome to a special edition of Neon Galactic. I'm your host, James Faulk. Thanks for joining us. With fickle fate dictating that this week interviews would fall through and I'd have space to fill and no heralded experts to invite onto the show, I'm taking advantage of the circumstance to better state my reasons for making this show. It's a calling, and here's the nature of our joint endeavor here. For the last century or so, world culture has continued to evolve according to limits and parameters established by the Western scientific worldview. It's become almost trite to say it, but this cultural hegemony has prioritized science, technology, commercialism, and individuality over community, spirit, wholeness, or ecological good sense. The birth and explosive growth of the internet over that time has exacerbated issues that had already metastasized. Television started the process of dehumanization and disconnection, and the internet, I believe, has simply made things worse. We're now a species of animal that has collectively disentangled itself from its responsibilities to the biosphere, to one another, and even to the cosmos itself. We've become a cancerous growth, one blindly consuming everything in its path and destined to kill the host body as cancers inevitably do. This is the natural outcome of choices that we've made, yet we can make other choices. The dominant cultural paradigm at present is an arbitrary set of values and philosophies that have driven our growth and prosperity for generations. It's not the only paradigm available. And rather than reach back into ancient history and salvage some other worldview from American Indians or some other idealized cultural moment that we really can't pretend to understand, we need to develop a new system of thought and belief that takes the good from what we have now, as well as the good from other systems that came before, in order to develop a wholly new and responsible worldview that can foster future growth and development while also restraining our worst impulses. We often hear in this space that human consciousness is evolving, that we're somehow going to wake up someday soon with a deep and maybe telepathic connection to the universe that makes all of these issues go away. I can't predict the future. Maybe that is indeed what's going to happen. But that still leaves us with a responsibility in this moment, with these soon to be obsolete minds and hearts, to take constructive action for the future. What is a worldview that can correct many of our mistakes, reconnect us to the world, allow from some realistic measure of material comfort, and stop us from destroying the planet we'll pass down to our children? It has to start with humility. We don't know much of anything. Our math and sciences have allowed us to get under nature's hood somewhat and make some changes. We've learned enough through quantification and analysis to make cool toys, plumb our toilets, go fast, tame electricity, improve human health, increase longevity, improve food production, communicate instantaneously, and much else. All the trappings of the modern age. But that same urge to innovate upon nature's systems has led us to the mass extinctions and other ecological catastrophes that characterize the Anthropocene. Pollution, global warming, toxic waste, extinctions, imbalance. It's also radically expanded our ability to kill one another. Thus, the ability to tinker with nature's controls is a strength for our species, but also a significant threat. Our love for science and technology proceeds under a set of ontological assumptions that we're convinced are related to these advances, but don't necessarily follow. Because materialism has given us some insight into how the elements and forces in the universe seem to be governed, we've abandoned any other path to knowledge. If a phenomenon cannot be quantified or replicated and therefore doesn't fit within the limits of mechanistic thinking, we've abandoned them. But it's that abandonment of these other perspectives that has made such catastrophes possible. Thus, for me, the research into anomalous phenomenon is about breaking free from the ontological prison we've built and rediscovering as a species what it means to play a constructive role as a part, and only a part, of a larger organism. It's about recognizing that there's a level of meaning in the universe, occulted though it may be, that can help shape our thinking toward constructive ends and ameliorate the meaninglessness we all seem to share. It's also about recognizing deep and fundamental patterns to human experience that have been with us forever, yet now get dismissed as illusion or self-deceit. For those few of us who've had these experiences, they're the most profound moments in life, tending to rearrange one's ethical landscape and hint at deeper layers. And so many of these strange experiences hint at the same reality. We're brushing up against a transcendent space, and often an intelligence that seems determined to remind us that all the separation we experience as human individuals is an illusion, that the planet is suffering, that our conscious minds are capable of much more than we realize, and that compassion or love is the most potent of all available therapies. As Bernardo Kastrup argues in his newest book, perhaps those daimonic energies we encounter are manifestations of nature. If so, nature is telling us some hard truths about our place in its system, as well as our abrogation of that fact. All of these things point, for me, to an urgent need for humanity to correct its course and reconsider how it inhabits and interacts with the physical world. Part of that correction will require a deeper search within our own natures, within our own minds, to seek out those daimonic currents and listen for all we're worth. All of which brings me back to an experience I've just had in meditation that resonates with everything above. I have a self-made mantra I use. Quote, I am an energetic expression of a loving cosmos. Unquote. This last time, I repeated that phrase while also focusing on how I felt in the moment. I relaxed my mind and tried to locate a place of resonance between my mind, my body, and everything else. I had a sense of reaching out, stretching out to everywhere at once while trying to physically feel the energies that surround and encompass me. I was soon enveloped in a kind of warm emptiness. Thoughts slowed and then ceased. Eventually, even the mantra drifted away until I was only floating awareness. Occasionally, images flashed up from the depths, unconnected to my conscious mind, yet seemingly full of a deep narrative authority, like it was telling a story. Words came, almost like intercepts caught in the ether, sometimes whole expository paragraphs, flashing up from some deep and independent place within, but again full of a knowledge and authority that wasn't mine, at least not in the usual sense. I knew somehow that these were the musings of my higher self, or some kind of daimonic presence within me that was much wiser, more dignified, and brilliant than I typically am. I wish I could say I had such a clear connection that this voice then imparted to me a deep download about the nature of the universe. Alas, I caught only snippets and could understand even less. But it was there, and it came from a cogent mind that was not my own as I've come to understand it. It was independent and precise, imaginative and distinct. It was a greeting, an introduction of sorts, and established for me a new point of departure in future work. But it was beautiful, and it was something I'll never forget. Thanks for watching. Check out our Patreon to support this channel. Find us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.